This is the agenda from Blood Red. I am Dan Austin. This is Kristian Walsh. We are from Liverpool.com and we're here because we want to talk about Divock Origi. It's Tuesday morning. I would quite like to start every day by talking about Divock Origi for 10 or 15 minutes, Kristian. But the reason that we're doing it is because we've put a few things out since our website launched on the 9th of July, which glowingly praise Divock Origi. We all absolutely adore the man. And some people seem to question his status as a 100% certified genuine Liverpool legend. You've written a thing about why you think that's wrong. He is a Liverpool legend. Let's convince all of the people watching who might doubt it that he definitely is.
Okay, so Kenny Dalglish, Liverpool legend, no doubt. Steven Gerrard, Liverpool legend. We know all of this. But then you start to get down the list a little bit and you're talking about people like Jerzy Dudek. For me, Liverpool legend. You're talking about people like Jimmy Traore. Liverpool legend? I think so. I think if you win the European Cup with Liverpool, you're already in that conversation. So let's just say from a base level, win the European Cup, that is Liverpool legend in the conversation. Maybe not, but maybe. And then you say that somebody has scored sort of the winning goal in a European Cup final.
The goal that gives us the joy, the relief. That's it. That's what we will always look back on, isn't it?
Okay. So for me, you've not even in the conversation now. You are forming the conversation. You are very much coming up the bridle. You are very much in that conversation. And then let's talk about how Liverpool got there. 2 goals against Barcelona when he wasn't even meant to start because Mohamed Salah and Roberto Firmino were injured. He scores an instinctive tap-in, one of his favourite types of goals from 2 yards out. And then he scores. He's the only man other than Trent Alexander-Arnold who knows that Trent Alexander-Arnold's going to put in a no-look corner.
Of 55,000 people, in fact, in the stadium. Never mind just the 22 on the pitch. Yeah. No one sees it coming except for them two.
No, everybody was on the phones. Everybody was looking at the fingers. Everybody was looking at the clock. Only him and Trent Alexander-Arnold knew what Trent Alexander-Arnold was going to do. And then you throw in the goal against Everton and the fact that it was one of the greatest moments at Anfield in recent history. It was probably one of the most bizarre goals you'll ever see in a Merseyside derby.
In any game of football.
Jurgen Klopp was on the pitch hugging Alisson Becker, surrounded by blue smoke. If you are a Liverpool fan, that is one of the things that you will forever tell your kids about. You will forever tell your grandkids about. In the long pantheon of great Merseyside derby moments for Liverpool Football Club, that is up there, and that's because Divock Origi, again, was one of the only people in that entire stadium who thought something's on here. The second Virgil van Dijk skies that. The cops sigh, everyone turns away. Jordan Pickford, I don't know what Jordan Pickford's doing, to be fair, and we've gone over that God knows how many times, but
I'll happily let you do it again.
I have no idea what Jordan Pickford's doing. Divock Origi is the only one. A couple of Everton players are 2-3 yards away from him, putting their hands up for offside. I mean, you try anything, don't you? But ultimately, you know, he's given Liverpool some of their greatest moments in a generation. Now, if that isn't legendary, I don't know what is, because for me, it's not about playing ability. I don't think he's a bad player, but I think a legendary status, especially at a club like Liverpool, it involves more than what happens on the pitch. It's what happens off the pitch. And you think about the nights out that he launched and the memories that, you know, you'll be sitting and working, you just remember that goal against Tottenham or those goals against Barcelona, that goal against Everton. That surely puts him amongst Liverpool legends.
He's genuinely my favourite Liverpool player of all time because of what he's done for me this year. You talk about the nights out and everything like that. He has given me them. So I don't live them with him. I go and live them with my mates and people I go to the match with and everything else. But he set it off. He's the reason that we're all in this one place at this one time, having the best time of our lives. And you can't quite... It's difficult to make that tangible. It's difficult to show that to people what it actually means. But it's not just winning a league game late on in December. It's not just putting Liverpool into a final where they might win a trophy. It's literally that's the best game that Anfield's ever seen, pretty much.
Yeah.
I personally wouldn't really allow anyone to argue it. I think it's comfortably that Barcelona match in the 127-year history of Liverpool, the pinnacle. And it's mainly on him. There's loads of other players. There's the managers. There's the 50,000 Liverpool fans who were there that made a massive influence on it as well. But it's him. It's his moment. It's those two things that he bookends it with that make the difference. And it's his moment once again in the final. People will talk about the likes of Suarez and Torres as legends and stuff like that. And they were brilliant players. Suarez is the best player that I've ever seen play for Liverpool. And
Better
the better players than Divock
Origi,
Origi as well, but that's not what matters. That's not the important thing. Liverpool have had better goalkeepers than JT Dudek. Vladimir Smicer scored in the European Cup final for Liverpool. No one ever thought he was even going to play in that game, but he's a Liverpool legend now. He goes on these tours as a Liverpool legend in pre-season, and that is why. And Origi, for me, supersedes everybody else, therefore, in that regard. All of the more talented strikers, Michael Owen, whoever, he supersedes them because of what he represents, because he represents the best year I've ever had supporting Liverpool Football Club. And you know what? It might not be matched. I presume and I hope that they'll win the league at some point in my time, and depending on the circumstances of it, yeah, that might well challenge. But if it's one of them where Liverpool do a bit of a city and they've got the title won by December and then the rest is just a bit of a procession, maybe this will still be the pinnacle because we've won the European Cup in completely unexpected circumstances with all of these mad moments where you thought, it's done, it's over, either in the European Cup or in the league, and they kept going and going and going, and Divock Origi was the continuous thread of that. He, to me, is last season. It's his. Klopp's absolutely brilliant. Alisson, Van Dijk made loads of difference. Jordan Henderson and James Milner are brilliant human beings, but last season was Divock Origi's season.
Do you know what else as well is where he's come from? And I don't mean Belgium. I mean where he's come from in the sense of his Liverpool career was over. His first minutes for Liverpool last season were against Red Star Belgrade in the 2-0 defeat out in Serbia. His first league minutes were those 10 minutes against Everton on the right-hand side.
Where he comes on and everyone goes, bloody hell, we're desperate. If we think we're going to get a goal off him.
Yeah. I mean, I think have things gotten this not this bad, but, you know, right, this is a roll of the dice, Jürgen. Mm-hmm. But his career was pretty much over. He went to Wolfsburg and they nearly went down. It wasn't his fault, but that sort of shows you the level he was playing at there. Yeah. And he is the epitome of what it is to be Liverpool and what it was to be Liverpool last season. Just when you thought they were out, they dragged themselves back in. That's what Divock Origi's done with his Liverpool career. And I think that's an inspiration for a lot of players. When you look at, he hasn't necessarily got the most talents. He's not got what Salah's got. He's not got what Mane's got. He's not got what Firmino's got. But he's got desire. He's got that innate ability to make something good happen. And that's what's really important. And that's why he'll go down in history.
And a goal scored instinct as well, which is what always makes him valuable, I think.
Always following him.
The thing that I always think about when I think of Origi still in all these moments this season is how when he scores, he just looks nonplussed. So you see, have you seen the from behind where he strikes the ball, that angle in the final? So that the corner's over there, if you like, and he strikes the ball into the far corner. And so you can see the end. You can see the Liverpool end as he puts it in and as he jogs away with his arms out. So he's just doing this with a bit of a smile. But not much. And the end is chaos. It's absolute carnage. The derby was the same. Newcastle away was the same. He looks like it's just an equaliser in a meaningless friendly or something like that. But I was there at St James's Park. It's one of the most I've ever celebrated a league goal. And Barcelona the same. He scores that fourth one and just sort of goes and says, "Nice one, Trent." Gives him a hug. And it's almost like, I don't know whether it's because he's got a psychology degree, hasn't he? He's clearly a very intelligent lad as well, which I think is where a lot of his mentality strengths come from. But is this him being like, I'm going to stay calm, there's a game still to play, this isn't over? Or is he just the most chill person on the planet? No, is that his personality?
I think there's something in that. I think, because I'm trying to think, I can't remember an Origi goal where he's gone...
He's never
crazy.
gone wild.
No,
never.
He
was what, 19 when he scored for Belgium against the USA in the World Cup knockouts.
And he runs out with his arms outstretched.
Doesn't do an awful lot.
With the Everton goal, he actually gets the ball and runs to the centre circle.
So we need another.
Beating them 1-0's not enough. So it's very interesting the way he reacts, and I don't think if you're not going to react in those ways, you know, to score against Everton, Barcelona and Tottenham, I don't know when you are. It will be very interesting to see what will make him. Maybe it is a title winning goal, but I wouldn't anticipate it.
I don't know, you know, I think like people are getting on a pitch and like throwing each other around the cop, and then he's just like in front of everyone still.
Andy Robbo's still trying to get on his shoulders. He goes, that's some belief, because he's a big fella, and here's Andy Robertson, he's one of the first there, isn't he? He just uses him basically as a pole vault just to try and get over him. And he is the calmest man in Madrid, and he's a great finisher, and he's a very good finisher from distance and from short range. And you look at the goal against Barcelona, he's following that in. You look against the goal against Everton, he's following that in. He has even the goals in pre-season that he scored, I don't know, we've been getting a bit of stick in pre-season, but the goals that he scored in pre-season, he's following goals in, he's following balls in, he's on the loose ball in the box. That's what you want a striker to do. He's never going to be the most complete player, but he's definitely an option for Liverpool. And I think he's at the moment suddenly the weight of Liverpool's bad pre-seasons kind of fallen on his shoulders because he's not the front three and because he is the first choice backup, if you will. And he's not necessarily doing it, although he's probably been one of Liverpool's most consistent players in pre-season. But I think he's just the one who people are getting a little bit of a downer on. But they forget about 3 weeks ago he was signing a new contract and everybody was absolutely buzzing about it. So I think Origi's going to be fine, and no matter what happens between now and the rest of the time, he's a Liverpool legend.
I can't wait to see what moments he gives us this season, because there's going to be 1 or 2 mad ones at least. That's all that we've got time for, though, for now. As I said before, we have written loads on him on our new website, liverpool.com. If you haven't checked it out already, make sure to go there. We think the rest of the writing's really good as well, but we'll link in the description to the various Origi pieces that we've seen. We've got a bit of an ode to him on the day that he signed his contract. We've got Kristian talking about how he's definitely a legend, and if you're not already convinced, you can read that to be convinced even more. And Joel Rabinowitz, who you'll have seen on these videos as well, has written about his top 10 moments, I think, in a Liverpool shirt. So check them out. There are a few ones that you may have forgotten, as well as the absolute belters that I'm sure you haven't. But for now, thank you very much for watching this. Hope you've enjoyed it. Make sure to subscribe and like the video if you have, and enjoy the rest of your day. All the best.